Hi beautiful souls, Life of Tarocchi back with another tarot reading. This reading is for anyone seeing this video. I connect with my higher self in all dealings with spirit and spiritual in nature. This includes your higher self in discussion with mine and any spiritual energies in between. Once you click on this reading, you are engaging in a blessing of knowledge that is for you to discern in your overall protection and direction in life. Even though negative energies exist, I will not entertain fear, but will acknowledge the learnings and teachings from all sources to be used for divine purposes only. Today we will read the energies from negative to positive and how this affects the mind, the body, and the spirit. Any dark or envious energies will be sent to the light for cleansing. It will not be returned. It will be dealt with from the highest source, meaning it will be exposed for positive outcomes in learning cycles of life. I allow light and love to prosper in all versions of life for the better good of all, with all the protection from love and love only, so it shall be. So welcome to your reading. Welcome to your reading. Okay, let's see. Let's see. I'm just, okay. All right, take it away, Spirit. Okay. So we've got here, in the placement of where the card's landing, gives me an indication of where we are speaking about. So we do have a few cards coming out here. And the reason why I've set this display up this way is so that you can tap into your higher self and use your own discernment based on what you see. Okay, so we have Greater Bilby, meaning the dark night of the soul. So this reading is for anyone who is feeling like they're going through a new phase, a transition from dark to light. This is also the energy of anyone who's had to retreat to self, to trust self, and to guide themselves into the light. Now, for the dark night of the soul, what I'm getting here is that external forces have pushed you into introspection, meaning that you've been forced to reflect on yourself, and through the dark night of the soul, you see who you are and why you are here. This is coming away from the things that no longer serve you, and this is the transition from no longer serving to awakening to who you are and why you are where you are. And through that introspection and self-reflection is you are being guided in your own way to move forward. So we've got the Greater Bilby here. Purple flowers are significant. This animal seems quite small, so if you're feeling very small in your overall surrounding, that's okay. Because when we have a dark night of the soul awakening, we start to realize that there is so much more wisdom in the world. We start to feel a lot smaller because we are considered that we are part of something much greater. Okay, so this energy here, this animal is roaming through the desert, so very dry terrains, heat, not much shelter from the sun. Okay, so even though this card is the dark night of the soul, you may be experiencing this energy publicly, or those around you are seeing you going through this transition. Now, the dark night of the soul is only for your own purpose. Once you see what that purpose is, then you move on to your journey to assist others in what your purpose is. So this is beautiful. We do have here the animal coming away from the desert and into some type of foliage here. We've got green foliage and food. So what we're seeing here is that you're coming out of the dark, even though it's been exposed to the rest. So people who know you might be seeing this change you're going through. Okay, so this is especially happening in the 5th and 6th house. So this is talking about the energies of love, romance, your creative endeavors, the things that you like to tap into that really invigorate that chakral, that orange energy, innovation, self-expression through love. This is also to, for someone in particular listening to this video, you're a mother. You could be a father, but it's mainly feminine energy. If you are a father, you're working through your feminine energy. But this could be a child, your child, that is triggering this awakening within you. I just heard to, when I get messages in the mind, they come in many forms. So usually it's just short phrases, and those short phrases, or if I see like a quick highlight of symbols or a vision inside, and depending on which direction that is projected, Spirit's trying to convey a message. So when I say Spirit, I'm speaking to my higher self. My higher self is dealing with all spiritual energies, right? So when you have that clear intention of connecting in with your higher self, then you will be able to tap in to yourself. I hope that makes sense. So we're seeing some deep changes within how you produce your workings. So 5th and 6th house, so this is love, creativity, we went through that. The 6th house is governing your daily routines, and especially work, what you do at work, what you do for work, how people see your services applied and how they're received. What we've also got in the 6th house here is there's work and health. So the dark night of the soul it's a lot of work for oneself to peel through, because they are going through a self-life reflection, okay? So this is very deep. That's why they call it the dark night of the soul, because it's deeply reflecting on everything that you've been through. And you question everything that you've been through. Why? Why is this happening to me? Why was I being shown these things? So that energy is coming up strongly in the 5th and 6th house, okay? We've got the black cockatoo here, and when I see black feathers, that's an automatic connection to magic. So if you're hearing crows going off, be mindful of what you're thinking of, because that's your higher self or spirit or your higher source, the divine, is actually connecting with you to say, hey, there's some magical energy lingering around you. I need you to pay attention to what's on your thoughts when you hear these sounds and frequencies. So these are about talking about connecting the symbols at the right time. So this is your awareness, okay? Being aware, all right, of what's happening inside you, what you're thinking and what you're feeling when you're hearing external forces. So even though the black cockatoo is coming up here, we've got rain magic. So this is talking about when we hear rain cleanses, right? And just the right amount of rain can bring growth. We think about this desert here. I don't know if this is a fact, but something I read when I was younger, it's really resonated with me, and it's coming up here. So my understanding is that the evolution of time, especially with deserts, that deserts were once seabeds, okay? So the desert was once under sea, or had a body of water over it. So when we're talking about rain here, rain cleanses, but of course too much rain can cause flooding. And when we talk about flooding, it's talking about all of these emotions coming up, every type of emotion. Now, when I get goosebumps, that is my higher self telling me that what I'm connecting with and what I'm saying is truth, meaning that that feels true to me, and this is why my body is expressing that energy. So black cockatoos, I feel like they're quite rare. And if there's any Australian viewers listening here, let me know how often, or if you've even seen a black cockatoo, because white cockatoos are more prominent, okay? So what this is telling me is that what you're going through is unique to your journey. And rain magic makes me feel makes me feel like going through this dark night of the soul, you've been flooded with emotions, but also you've, in some way or another in life, you feel like you've been forced to go through this dark night of the soul. Okay. Now, also true, this has happened before, because like where the water lays over the deserts at one point in time, the water has come back in, right? And the animal has also found food, foliage. So the rain brings growth, good news, abundance in food, you know, things that are good for us to put inside our body. Meaning, when I say meds, we're talking about music and sound frequencies. Eating, so eating and foods. What good foods are you putting inside your body that actually promotes health and good feelings? D is for dancing. So this is talking about that fire energy, how you move about. These are talking about your actions and your behaviors. And S, singing, sounds, the expression of one's emotions, how you speak and what messages you're translating, versus when the crows and cockatoos come to you. When they sound their messages to you, what are you thinking and what are you feeling? Put it together. That's your message. Okay, and what we have here is, oh, this is beautiful, stability. Okay, so we've got yellow-footed rock wallaby, stability. Okay, so if you are feeling like the dark night of the soul is a very intense process, and no one will ever understand why you're going through this or why you're doing the things you're doing through this dark night of the soul. Okay, they never will. They will never understand, because this is individual work here, you know. So even if you're feeling, when the rain comes, you know, when the flooding of emotions come, it's okay, because you're being brought towards more stable ground. You're being brought to higher ground. Even though when the rain comes, see, if the rain hits the mountain, it's trickling down back down to the riverbeds, you know. So this means that it can cleanse and wash away. Emotions are temperamental, and they are there to help us, guide us along the way. Okay, that's beautiful. Okay, so let's see. We are going to try and read both positive and negative energies to get positive outcomes. And I really do want to focus on how those negative and positive energies affect your mind, affect your body, how you're feeling inside your body, and your spirit, meaning that the external energy around you, right? Spirit means many things to me. I'm spirit. You are spirit. A past loved one is spirit. The divine source is spirit. So it's spiritual in nature. So Google the word spirit and look up terms and definitions and the meanings of these words to get a clearer understanding of what these letters mean when they're strung together. Okay. All right. So where am I going to next? Okay. We got respect. Your efforts are being noticed. Okay. Okay, so I am just going to shuffle these a bit. I've added some new ones. All right. Also, I might add, I'm not a professional of any sort. I'm reading from my intuition, okay? So use your discernment and your own judgment in life, okay? People can guide you, and you know when those people are giving you the right advice, you know when to take it, or you take it with a grain of salt, okay? It's the same for me. What I'm saying here is all for entertainment purposes. And even though it may reign completely true, this is for you to use your discernment. I want you to be able to use your spiritual abilities in your own way, because we're all here having a soul experience in the human body. So when we can start separating that I'm not the experience, you know, this is the learnings and the teachings that are for my experience. Okay, so we're not defined about, nothing defines of what happened to us, it's how we handle the situation. Okay, so first of all, Thanks for tapping in. I want to know, let's look at the positive and negative meanings to this dark night of the soul, especially how you're choosing to express yourself creatively, whether that's through your generations of children, or the types of activities that you're engaging with at this particular time through your dark night of the soul. Okay, Spirit, thank you. Okay. I'm not reading any reversals, so what I'm doing today in this reading and moving forward is that the top of the card, where the bottom of the card is facing, is where that energy is pointing towards, okay? So what we have here, we've got this card pointing, we've got it pointing towards the 11th house, but it's sitting in the 3rd. So this is internal energy for you. Now, this could be mind communication, your thoughts. This could also be interactions with your siblings and how those communications and conversations have played out. Now, this could be, you could be a Gemini or dealing with a Gemini or having Gemini energy experience, meaning that Geminis are the twins. So, which is perfect for this because it's both dark and light, positive and negative. So the twins here with Gemini, this could be the mind having, okay, well, if I'm having this thought, but then I'm having this thought. So this is like using your discernment within oneself, okay, based on the information you've received from the close people around you. Close people can be siblings, can be cousins, so first, second, third, fourth cousins, if you know your family tree quite well. But these people have had some type of impact on you, especially with the way that you think and communicate with them and between them and about them, vice versa. So we're looking at, these are mind communications, and this could also be communications you're having with your neighbors, okay? So these people close to your home space and you think about a lot. When your auntie or uncle said to you as a child, okay, so the Spirit's giving us transition of time. So perhaps when you're going through this dark night of the soul, you're cleansing all of the past experiences that made you feel stagnant. Okay, so there's deep reflection here on how people treated you, and we've got here auntie or uncle. So this means that instead of it being a sibling, we've got closeness with the next generation up. So auntie, uncle, mum and dad's brothers and sisters. Okay, and this includes in-laws as well, because those are the people that person chooses to spend their life with, which means that person is directly reflecting something within that relationship that makes it work, or not, but that's how that's formed. Okay, so there's something here where you're being guided to reflect on something that was said to you from someone in the next generation above, and you're seeing how this plays out in a social aspect. Now, you could be dealing with Geminis or Aquarius. You could be dealing with Leos or Virgos. I do want to try and leave out the star signs in this reading because I just want to read the energy mostly. But if the star signs give you confirmation, great. If they don't, leave them behind, because there could just be these people acting in those energies. So being mindful of that, I'm not an astrologer, but I do use references to astrology because it covers all aspects of life. If you want to get your natal chart read, go find a free natal chart or birth chart on Google, and you can do some deep reading for yourself. You will have to have a few details such as your name, your full name, your date of birth, the time you were born, and the location, so where you were born. Okay, so all of these factors come into play. Astrology is the blueprint to your life. Okay, so there's a lot of deep messaging in there for you, especially if you're going through the dark night of the soul. That energy and that mapping actually helps you work through this. Okay, for me personally, when I've done my own birth charts or natal charts, just on the free ones available on Google, I have had to do quite a different few. And I've read through the reports and I'm like, oh, that kind of resonates, that, no. By the time I did the sixth one, I was like, wow, that is me. So have a play, have a read. You know, different astrologers pick up different things, different psychics pick up different things, different mediums pick up different things. It's all about resonance of energies and if they connect, okay? So I feel like I have to teach as I go, because everyone should have their own spiritual abilities. I don't care what anyone else says about that. You should be able to think for yourself and discern for yourself, okay? So what we've got here, more self-care is required, okay? So when you're going through this dark night of the soul, everything can feel like it is up in the air. It's like, when is this over? When is the light coming? See, you're not in the darkness here when the dark night of the soul happens. So this means that tells me that you've got access to support around you. And if it's not people, it's spiritual support, okay? You can support yourself spiritually through symbols. Now that's through your own terms of reference. More self-care is required. So as you move through this dark night of the soul and start cleansing out all of those negative energies, you find yourself in a really stable place. And when you get to that stability, I was just forced to look up at Taurus then, meaning that when you get to this stability, that is your ultimate abundance. And however you see abundance in life, it could be more money so that you've got more options to provide for people around you. It could be spiritual wisdom so that you're able to guide others to help themselves. This could be just knowledge, or knowledge and guidance in any form, because you've lived it and you've learnt it. And helping others through this, because when you get on the other end, it's worth it. Okay, so I'm getting this dark night of the soul is that it's been forced upon you, and you could be going through this publicly, or people are speaking about, oh, you're doing weird things right now, or I don't remember that person to be this way. Don't worry about that, because these people are just feeling threatened that you're retreating, okay? So whatever energy you were pouring out before, and to some degree you're not able to do that anymore, because there's this transition here. You're needing to walk towards, and you know, you're coming out of the desert and you're walking to things that actually feed your soul. Feed your soul out of the darkness, okay? So darkness could also mean naivety. It could also be, you know, people saying you don't know what you're talking about. That's okay. It's not for them. It's for you. And the less we feel that we have to prove to people, the further you are along your journey, okay? So please put yourself first. More self-care is required, because if you don't look after yourself, you can't, you know, you can't be there for the ones that you want to be for. So I'm not saying you're not looking after yourself. I'm just saying that when you go through, or if you're going through this dark night of the soul, you're going to need different things to support you through this transition, okay? So more self-care is required. The things that you were doing for yourself in the past, that's great, but you're needing to either change what you're doing or add to your self-care checklist, okay? That means getting up at the same time every day, doing the same good things every day, whether that's positive higher self-talk, you know, connecting with your higher self, trusting yourself. All right, that's beautiful. You could also have like a Leo or a Virgo saying, hey, look after yourself a bit more. I need you to look after yourself more because I love you and I care about you and I don't want to see you in pain, okay? That's that energy there. Energy off the edge of the board here, we've got fire starter. What is that song? If you heard it when I heard it, great. Go listen to it after or during this reading. Okay. Fire starter. Passion of the mind and magical outcomes. Okay, so we're getting confirmations here. The dark night of the soul is all through the mind, right? It's reflection of what we see and what we've been through. Passion of the mind and magical outcomes. Wow, I love this. Okay, but this is off the board, so this is also like someone else's energy. So perhaps someone has triggered this awakening for you. This deep reflection and transition. Wow. Wow. Okay. Wow. All right, so for those of you on the bottom here, we've got Call Dad. what was happening before, during, and after conception. This is to clarify any soul contracts, right? If Dad's still living, amazing. Give him a call and say, Dad, can you tell me, he's this is bringing me back to the masculine father in a feminine energy. Dad, what time was I born? This kid, your child, or you asking your parent, what time was I born? So I can actually map out the blueprint of my life and find out why you brought me here. So this is having that intergenerational conversation to go, I see. Now, if dad's not on the spiritual plane, he's much closer to you. See, this is the thing. When Dad's on the other side, he's much closer to you. So he's always around you. And what you're needing to do is lift your energy, lift your frequency, because they are reducing their frequency to try and connect with you as well. Okay, so Dad's there. He's always around. All right, soul contracts. Also, too, if Dad's with you in spirit of nature, Dad wants you to write down 3 to 5 cue points. Okay, go grab your diary, go grab your journal. I want you to write down 3 to 5 symbolic messages. Okay, write down white feathers. What does that mean to you? What do white feathers mean to you? But also write down, when you show me a white feather, Dad, this is what I want it to mean to me. Okay, so this is you starting your terms of reference, your inner dialogue with your spiritual inheritance, right? This is your legacy through your father's line. Now, this is talking about you connecting your terms of reference to spirituality, all right? What do white feathers mean? Okay, write it down, because if you can imagine those who have transitioned to the other side, they are aware of everything that's happening with you, and they are constantly trying to connect with you. And the sooner you realize this, and the sooner you make that connection very strong and very clear, you start to see these signs and symbols throughout life. And what I love about tarot cards is that they give us quick symbolic messages in reference to things in life. Okay, so write down white feathers. What do you want that to mean to you when you see a white feather on your journey? Also, who was your father in nature in terms of spiritual animals? Did he have a specific tattoo that you resonated with that goes, wow, that is my father? Okay, something about them, or even a word, or or something about them. Write it down, and when you hear that word, whether it comes through the radio, whether it's a song or a phrase from a song, when you hear that frequency, that cue, you know that that's Dad connecting in with you. Okay, so write that down in your book. Pick 3 to 5 symbols and write down what they mean to you, and start looking for them and awaiting for those to come to you in your life. Be mindful of when you see them, what you're thinking of, because they are confirming what you were thinking at the time when you're moving through your journey. Okay? This is them having this conversation with you. All right, what else, Spirit? What else for the dark night of the soul? Okay. Yeah. All right, 4th house, home and family. So this is like either dealing with a Cancer, or this is like your home and family, your early foundations, dealing with your mum, dealing with, mum's line. But this is talking about you having a creative burst of energy, and it's coming out of the 4th house, facing the 9th house, so Cancer and Sagittarius. Or this is something your mother's taught you, and that's coming into play through your beliefs and your transitions in life. So what you believe in, this could be religion. I'm not religious, but this is the direction of your mind and what guides you. Okay, so religion, spirituality. If you're neither of those, this speaks about higher education. So whether you've picked a discipline to learn, this is the thing that governs your belief moving forward. Okay. However, whatever drives your belief moving forward, you're having creative outbursts, okay? So we've got a creative burst of energy. Use it. Something will come, okay? So while you're going through this dark night of the soul and cleansing out those negative energies, you draw back onto the things you learnt when you were younger. So this is tapping into your feminine energies, okay? So that's beautiful. Healing the feminine. And I don't care whether you're male or female or however you identify, we all have these energies within us. Okay, so you're being guided to use your creativity because something will come with it. And when you see the outcome of what you produced, then you'll start to know this is my direction. Okay. Also, to someone who is doing their natal chart, look for where your north node is. Wherever your north node is, that is like the direction you want to move in life. Okay. My north node is teaching. So for me, a lot of it, I always consider myself a student, and I believe that we can learn from even children and infants. And no matter the age, whether I'm younger or older than that other person, they are teaching me something deeply profound. Whether I see that in reflection of myself, or this is spiritual in nature, you know. So, very, very profound. So a deeper, huge energy coming through, creative bursts of energy. Okay, so what this is that the dark night of the soul, you feel like someone broke a promise, okay? Someone broke a promise. They promised something and they didn't come through. So therefore, you were feeling left alone to retreat through this dark night of the soul. Reflection. Why did this happen? Why was this taken from me? Why? Okay. It says it's okay because it wasn't for them to hold. All right. They made you a promise that they couldn't keep. And this, in terms of sent you into this journey of the dark night of the soul. It's not scary. It feels emotionally uncomfortable. But never fear. You should never fear yourself. You should never fear yourself, okay? So someone broke a promise, and this is what started this transition, the dark night of the soul. It's okay. It wasn't meant for them to hold, all right? So maybe they were upholding a promise from someone else, using someone else's energy to say, yeah, I got this for you, but it actually wasn't theirs to offer in the first place. You know what I mean? So this is someone taking someone else's things or education or beliefs and saying, yeah, I've got this for you, I've got this for you, I've got this for you. But it never came up, okay? So it's like this person or someone has kept you on, it's like they've kept you on a short leash. Lease came out, okay. By broken promises, meaning that there had to come a time where that information was proven to be untrue. Okay, so someone was feeding you positive promises, but as a result, you've received some type of negative backlash from this, and it's resorted you to come to self, to trust yourself. Now, we can be guided by those who want to help us, but it really comes down to why they're wanting to help us. Intention, intention, intention. Okay? Intention is everything. And what is so hard about intention is that no one wears their intention up front. So it's about, sort of taking a sitting back and listening, deep listening. Deep listening. These are all the things I need, but I can't have them without you in it, okay? Wow. So someone's promised you something that they weren't able to give you in the first place. Okay. All right, and then we've got here. So this energy is sitting over the seventh house, so partnerships and relationships, facing the 8th house, which means transition, changes, reflection. Okay, so we've got a spiritual alliance is being consolidated. This is removing those roadblocks that you've been experiencing. Okay, so something has to move out of the way in order for you to step forward. Now, this person has kept these promises because what you were giving them in return or exchange during that conversation or communication is that they were feeling grounded. You were giving them some type of energy that made them feel safe, and therefore I feel like this person was in their ego where they were like, yeah, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this, but they weren't really coming from within. It was like they want to give you something that they don't have. Okay, so all of this has come because of a broken promise. All right, so this is like talking about coming back to self and relying on self and the decisions you make for yourself. Okay, so a life partner is someone, it could be romantic or platonic, like it's very much focused on someone who's been on your side for a long time, who's been around you in your energy for a long time. We can have parents as life partners. We, can use them to help guide us through life, making life decisions. It could be anybody, but we do have here, auntie and uncle, so triggered something. We do have a life partner that broke a promise. And because of these broken promises from others, it's forced you to retreat to yourself, okay? And to focus on those things that are really important to you. What we have here is a slight tweak, fixes it all. So rotation of view. When you go, like this dark night of the soul is a change in perspective. Because it's the way you were looking at things before or the way others were perceiving you before, that's all changing. Okay, yeah, changing the mind and a change in thought. All right, and we've got jackpot here. You found the pot of gold. We've got spirit guides and avoiding conflict. So simplify your routine. All right, so those of you, and okay, we've got called out again. Okay, see what was happening before, during, and after conception. Soul contracts. These are little hints that were going on at the time when you were being brought into the world. Okay, you're being guided to be yourself. Be authentic because no one else compares. Create some space. Your first breath, your first cry, and your first love. Okay, so this, when you go through the dark night of the soul, you're essentially rebirthing yourself. Everything you once knew or once looked to is no longer of value. That's how it feels. That's the feeling. Whether that person, you're going, okay, this person, I'm not feeling very valued by this person because they keep telling me lies. So this therefore would bring someone into retreat to themselves and start seeking clarity on their own minds, on their own terms. Okay? What else? What's this rain magic? Okay, so this what we had here is take up that new course. So there's something here you're learning about cleansing, learning about, it rains, it pours, right? And after the rain, things grow. Things can grow and they glow. But we've got rain magic here. So what's this? Ooh, self-made, self-paid. All right, so this card's coming out in March. When whatever you're creating through this dark night of the soul, it's something spectacular and it's going to bring you stability. But you're needing to focus on the things that you need for yourself to keep yourself in that creative energy, to be able to produce. Self-made, self-paid. March is significant. So this is building towards entrepreneurial energy, or this is like completely finding new circles to operate in. This is also like being immersed in a new type of, it's a new way of life. So it's something that you hadn't discovered or considered before. And when you come across it, you're like, whoa, this is for me. I resonate, So this is a feeling that you come across. And that's that feeling in the body, when it feels right. So when you're reflecting on past instances where others have sent you those broken promises, I want you to reflect on how you were feeling at the time when that frequency was being promoted to you. Were you Was there an inkling of this sounds too good to be true? And if that was right, then trust that instinct moving forward, because in that situation you were trying to feel through those emotions to trust your intuition instead of being guided by someone else's words and their judgment of you or for you. Okay. All right. Self-made, self-paid. What's this? Okay. All right. So self-made, self-paid. We have here quite a few messages. Okay. So you'll get there. Keep going. All right. So you're being encouraged to continue doing your creative endeavors. And whatever you're tapping into creatively, whether that's making you feel good or not, okay? And if it's making you feel good, you're gonna want to keep doing it. So you're being encouraged to keep doing the things that are making you feel more enlightened, more alive, more innovative, more creative. The things that make you feel more yourself. All right, so you're part of the plan. So this part of the plan means that you're being pushed and guided into a direction where you're meant to be. So it's like perhaps maybe you felt like you've spent too long somewhere else exuding your energy for something else, and you've come back to self going, hang on, this actually doesn't resonate with me. This isn't who I am. It doesn't reflect how I feel. Yet I keep buying into this person or buying into this thing, and I'm not getting anything from it. So this is weighing up those types of things, but you're being guided and pushed into the right direction. Great strides of improvement. So things are going to get much better. Okay. There's also what we have here, when you focus on yourself and focus on building upon those reflections in the past, this is building your intuition, cleansing out those negative energies to find your stability in life. So what we've got here is spiritual safety boundaries. So while you are going through the dark night of the soul and you're producing those forms of creative methods or whatever you're creating or working on, it's providing you with spiritual safety and it's setting boundaries. So energetically, what this feels like for those people or energies that have been quite negative towards you, they're being they're being guided to stay away, because it's their gut feeling that perhaps they know they've pushed too much and perhaps they know that they can't bring what they promise. So they're being guided to stay well away from you while you're going through this transition of self-evolution. All right, so this connection is destined. Can you see it? All right, so what's happening here is, what I'm getting is like, when you keep doing something for someone and it's like you can't do it anymore, whether that's like being part of a team that's, a sport athletic team, and you've pushed yourself so hard that the type of workouts that you were doing were actually causing negative effects on your body, meaning that you've incurred an injury by pushing so hard. So maybe that type of physical activity is not aligned with your anatomy in essence, or perhaps, that particular movement is being guided in the wrong direction. So therefore, it's like some type of injury has occurred here, whether that's to the body, whether that's to the mind, or whether you're feeling this spiritually. Okay, so what this is like when you retreat and pull back to yourself, people don't like that because they're not getting what they were receiving from you in the previous instance. And this is because, this could be, things have to be fair and even exchange. And when you're giving positive energy out all the time, it becomes negative for you because you're drained. You've used all of your resources on this person or these people or this situation, and it's left you feeling incapacitated in some way, right? Because this is you coming back to yourself and going, okay, why am I here alone? Why was I treated this way? What was being shown to me at the time, and what was I feeling? So what this is, when you've retreated away from others, it's going to make them feel negative because you were pouring so much positive energy into this situation or to this person, okay? So when that split happens, or even when you take that time for yourself, you're probably going to hear some negative energies come from that situation or from those people, you know, especially if you're a part of a team, and you really raise the team's abilities in that sense, and then all of a sudden, if you're injured, you can't train them, or you can't teach them the skill set that you have. You've got to leave. And so therefore people are feeling negative about that, because it's like, oh, you've withdrawn from me, what, am I not good enough? But you know, so this is, people need to, you know, it's good to have support from others, but it has to be positive and it has to be equal. So when others curse you, they really curse themselves, okay? So they can't see clear through the eyes of envy. Also, too, what Spirit just gave me then is that, like, when you're doing something for yourself and you're seeing good outcomes for yourself, and you're starting to see the ripple effect of that, of those around you or in your environment, and whatever was in the past, if this is bringing you negativity, then this is kind of showing you that either these people didn't really have positive intentions for you in the first place, or they're feeling very hurt because you've retreated, retracted, redacted from them. So that's just like a, what would I call that? Don't know. All right, so this is, there's something here, like, see how this energy is coming around the board? So this is also like March. March is a big month for you. And there's like something that's going to make a lot of sense in terms of what you've been doing. You're going to be sure that to continue doing it. Also, we've got this, a secret is being revealed, 3 to 7 days, coming out in the first house. So this is all about self-appearance, how you see others, how others see you. It is facing externally. So a secret is being revealed to you about this past situation or this person, wherever you've disconnected from, okay? So this secret that comes to you is for your own knowledge, and it's going to give you clarity that you've been moving in the right direction. Okay. What's this stability? This stability, so there's something coming out in the 11th house. So we've got whatever creative endeavors that you're working on and cleansing through to create stability for yourself. Opposite this is like the social outcome, the ripple effects of this. So whenever you bring this to light, release it, say it's a product and it helps others through this same type of dark night of the soul energy, for example, it's like people are wanting to, I can't look without touching. They want to get their hands on this. And this is in social aspects, or this is like dealing with an Aquarius. So this is social media. These could also be like big events, social events. So something you're working on is pretty cool. Okay, so that's really, really cool. It's going to be received well socially when it goes to market. So I feel like that message is really resonating for those who are moving into entrepreneurial work. Really, really working through what your passions and talents really are. When you work that out, it's like things are kind of effortless, because it's like, yeah, this is, I know this like the back of my hand. It's second nature to me, because you've been doing something for a long time and it comes to you naturally. And this is also too, I feel like, why this energy was sort of, why this happened in the first place. Because you were giving something very valuable to someone who was over-promising. And it wasn't for them to keep. Okay, so yeah. It's like maybe this person or this situation wanted it for themselves, or they didn't want you to go through this deep reflection, because they would maybe see that, okay, they're going to start seeing, all right, maybe some of the BS that was placed around you, you know, So I feel like when people come to you, they should come to you genuinely, you know, and moving forward from this dark night of the soul, cleansing out that negative energy, finding your stability. You know, people are always going to talk, whether it's good or bad, you know, and it's kind of like, are you going to buy in? Are you going to feed into that negative energy and bring you back down? Or are you going to work on these positive outcomes that are actually bringing good things to people? Yeah. Okay. Last card, please. All right. So we've got spot on here. You're hitting the mark on something. Like it's undeniably correct. And what we have here coming out over the greater bilby, the dark night of the soul, it's facing towards your beliefs. So like we said before, your spiritual awareness, your religious awareness, or this is talking about the degree you took up that guides you through your transition in life. I had you once and I'll get you again. And when I find you, I'm not letting go. So there's someone in the background that's like really valuing you. And it's like, okay, so someone's really values you and the work that you're doing, but there's also this energy of, do you really want the truth? It's hard to handle, so let's just be strong and let's go. Okay, so dark night of the soul is truth seeking, okay? Truth seeking. And when we find the truth is not always easy to handle. It hurts. It hurts because it means that we've been lied to, you know? And that's okay. That's just on that other person for not being genuine on their own, you know? So just know that you're going through this process because it's bringing you to a greater awareness, and it's helping you achieve the things that you're meant to be doing in life. All right, translation, conversion of information. Okay. When you hear something that really hurts, just take that how it is and find ways to translate that information so that it converts in a way that makes sense. Instead of going, oh, this person's just a horrible person, it could just be that this person's in a lot of pain and they're acting in cries of help, you know? So this can bring more calm to the situation. It's like this person's hurt me intentionally, it's more about this person's hurting on their own and it's a cry for help. Okay, so sometimes help is received in many forms, okay? But help can only be given when one person is strong, okay? When we're all strong, one person is strong, we all become strong. And we have to be strong within our individuality on our own before we connect with soul people, soul tribes. All right, so you're hitting the mark here on something. This love is old and wise, and it's strong and supports me. It is my guiding light. So you have a wish granted, okay? Two minds think alike, samesies. So this tells me that you're connecting in with someone who's beneficial to the work that you're doing now, where you're going and what you're producing. Okay, so we'll just leave that there. People are being wowed by you. Secret is being revealed 3 to 7 days after receiving this video. Self-made, self-paid. So keep working on what you're doing, your creative endeavors. Keep light in your heart. Cleanse out negative energies. Okay, and until the next reading, beautiful souls, take care and lead to the light, walk to the light, live with love. Until the next reading,